Hey guys, welcome to BP, the Bible Perspective. Joe Biden's win in Michigan is more than just a sign he's the front runner, but it is also a troubling sign to Trump. Now, before we get into it, please like and share this video and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. And as always, if you have a thought or a comment, add it in the comment section. All comments are welcome. You know, since Super Tuesday, Joe Biden has, of course, resurrected. He's exploded into the scene as the front runner. Unless something happens, you can almost predict, predict that he is going to be the candidate, the Democratic candidate to run against Donald Trump. Now, there are a lot of reasons why I would say that Bernie Sanders cannot win, even though it is possible. His idealism, but I'll get back to that. Biden's recent win in Michigan, however, signals something that I think is very important to take note of. That is, voters came out. Now, in case you missed it, in Super Tuesday, that's exactly what happened also. Voters came out. Now, when you had the Iowa caucuses and you had the New Hampshire caucuses, these were primarily white voters. Black people haven't even voted yet. But here's the thing about Michigan. Several 100,000 people turned out to vote. Now just rewind the clock back to 2016. And what you had in Michigan was voters didn't come out. I remember we all said that Hillary Clinton lost more than Donald Trump won. And one of the reasons is because voters didn't come out. Now, that was a combination primarily of the campaign of Trump, but it was more so how Hillary took for granted her voters. She didn't motivate them to come out and vote. And in some cases, she ignored them. Now, Sanders is doing the same thing. And I have to tell you, frankly, I'm quite surprised, especially with the likes of Nina Turner on his side. For example, Sanders just recently wrote off Mississippi. Big mistake. Big mistake. You should always go, even if you think you're going to lose. Because think about this. When Trump went to some of these areas that Hillary didn't go to, and he basically even said, "Where's Hillary?" Now, he might have known, I'm not going to win the black vote, or I'm not going to win large numbers of undecided voters or Democratic voters, but he won enough. But more so, there were more people that didn't come out. Michigan this time surprised everyone, had a big voter turnout. And this seems to be, and I'm going to put it this way, these little disclaimers, because again, anything can change in the world of politics, but it seems to be there's a trend showing that the more voters turn out, that's going to spell bad news for Trump. Let me also say this. You've had this trend that I can basically say since 2000 that show the Republicans don't have enough numbers to win. Remember, Bush Jr. lost to Gore. He won the popular vote. That's Gore, that is. Same thing in 2016. Remember, Hillary beat Trump by 3 million votes, right? The popular vote. Now, where Trump won, and I'll say he won fair and square according to the system, he won in those key states where the Electoral College was most important. Now, we're not going to get into a discussion of the Electoral College. There needs to be one certainly to had, because basically, one, it either needs to be abolished. That's not going to happen soon, but certainly there are a couple of points that need to change. But anyway, the idea was that that's where he won. Now get this. This turnaround, this surge of voter turnout, and this is the key I want to point out. The key of the surge of voter turnout can spell bad news for the Republicans. Go back, and let me just say this one thing about the Electoral College. because oftentimes people are confused in terms of what it is. And again, we can debate the relevance of it, but here's the problem most about the Electoral College. These representatives who actually elect the President of the United States. That's what the Electoral College is. So in that respect, your vote doesn't count. However, their vote is supposed to represent, the will of the people. They don't have to, however. Here's the point, though. In some states, you have a winner-take-all. So let's say, for example, if you have a state like California that has 55 electoral votes. If that state is a winner-take-all, even if you had a split, almost a split, an evenly split vote, the one who had the most votes, even if it's by one vote, right, by one vote, he would take all 55 votes. That should change, because what that means is the other side votes didn't matter. That's what I mean when I said that even if you change those 2 points and you divide the Electoral College up evenly according to votes, even in 2016, Trump would have lost. Okay, but again, we're not there yet. Okay, we're not there yet. So the biggest thing is that the more the voters turn out, it spells bad news for the Republicans. And this is why. Things have changed. Ideologies have changed. Mindsets have changed. Enough so that there's not enough Republicans that can push a candidate across the line. Even though Trump has impressive rallies, don't be fooled by that. They still do not number enough to push him over. The way he has to win is to disenfranchise the Democratic votes, to get them to stay at home, right? Maybe he can cipher a few that would vote, but the most thing is if they don't vote. And what we're seeing with this sort of trend so far, with the Super Tuesday, and then with this recent caucus, especially Michigan, that's something that really got my attention, and that is people are turning out to vote. Now, in yesteryears, I mean not yesteryears, but Republicans. Let me state this. One of the reasons why Republicans are always constantly trying to move the goalposts by changing voting laws, closing voting polls. They know their numbers don't look good. And I can almost guarantee you one thing, that if they're looking at this Michigan numbers, this Michigan turnout, they're troubled by that too. They're troubled. Trump is troubled. But you know what? We'll see how this goes, because will they be disenfranchised? Especially if Bernie loses. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when you go to it. That's my perspective, guys. And as always, like and share this video, and subscribe to BP The Bible Perspective. The next time, I'll see you then.